again. So I've always considered the biggest part of my ethnicity to be German. I was born and raised in America in the Midwest, but my maiden name, which is Luft, and my mother's maiden name, which is Vetter, are both German names. My great grandmother, she spoke German. We really don't identify with that though. There's um, no like strict thing that we did or ever have done as a family that made it German per se. The culture that I would identify with would be more based on where I live, which is the Midwest. You know, we're surrounded by a lot of rural communities, and our traditions and foods are based on our location, you know, like bread, corn, beef. These are all things we ate growing up as kids. Um, I really like other foods like Japanese, Mexican, Italian. Um, I love to try new cuisines too. I would call my culture more individualistic. Um, People are very family oriented here, and they identify with who their family is. So, you know, you hear, oh, who was your grandpa? And you have to tell everybody who your grandpa is so they know where you came from. Um, that's very popular, but I we don't refer to ourselves as a collective we necessarily. Um, my culture I would consider to be low context, just the United States in general. People are often open and willing to speak up about their beliefs and values. And I mean, there's so many different cultures here in the United States and even in Iowa that it just wouldn't be nice or polite to assume that everybody believes the same things that you do or that their traditions align with yours. My personal views align with a monochronic time orientation. It's very important to my friends, my family, just that you spend time and make time for the people that you care about, which sometimes can get us in trouble, can put strains on relationships if you're just busy, don't have the time. That's very impolite, you know, considered rude. In the United States, I'd say we tend to value masculinity, and I would like to learn more about a culture that values femininity, like Sweden, because with all of the cultural tension that's going on in the United States currently, and I mean for generations, I just believe that it could be a valuable resource to channel some of those feminine values, like negotiation, compromise, balance. The gender I identify would would be female. Like I said before, masculinity is valued in the United States, and it's not uncommon to hear gender stereotypes about, you know, the men working, the women staying home and cooking and cleaning and tending to the children. I don't necessarily agree with gender roles, even though my lifestyle probably conforms to a gender role. But I believe and I know so many women who are small business owners, who are full-time moms, who are single moms, and these people just, you know, they break those molds that society has put in place for us every single day. One of the most interesting things about gender and communication in our society in general is how we expect boys and men to hide their feelings. I've never been okay with this. Um, you know, people saying things like, oh, quit crying, you sound like a little girl. This really oppresses emotions and can lead to problems later in life. You know, you hear a lot of people when they're talking about their relationships with their significant other, like my husband or my boyfriend doesn't know how to communicate with me, he doesn't express emotions. And this is because he's been expected to repress his emotions his entire life and to uphold his masculinity. And I think women and men equally do this to men. And I just think that it's okay for men to cry. Okay, thank you.